Check, check.
Good evening, everybody. We have a special program under Science Sanje. Normally, we get to discuss fairly serious subjects right here by practitioners of science and technology here, and that is the main purpose of this. But today we have a combo. We have somebody who comes from the technical world and says that he has left that and then joined the bandwagon of music and composing, right? So it is my pleasure to welcome Sunil Koshi right here, who has come all the way from Bangalore. Uh, a little bit about him, right? His CV in the corporate world is just one liner saying that yes, he was doing computing job, right? Yes, sir. But I think the later part of it, right, which is around 2012, where it started, and then I think that has really taken off, right? So people who saying that no, people in one genre cannot jump to the other genre, I think you should look at Sunil for inspiration. He has been a TEDx speaker and academician. He has spoken at all the well-known locations in India and IAC, IIMs, Ashoka University, MDI, and all the others which are well-known institutes. He is also the co-founder of Mug to Mic. Mug to Mic, which is a platform for amateur singers, right? And that which he started with his wife Archana. He has also collaborated with well-known musicians like Harikaran, Chitra, Kumar Sanu, and then things like that. Even though I believe he's a Malayali, right? And speaks Malayalam at home, you should listen to his Kannada songs. Right? I don't think people who are born and brought up here would have the same diction as he has got, and it's fantastic, right? To kind of hear him. With that, I will leave the stage right to Sunil here, who will tell us both the careers and a bit more on the second one, I suppose. Right? Thanks.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful, crisp introduction. I think very powerful. Without going through the whole profile, sometimes it gets a little boring, but I think you conveyed the essence of it. Thank you, Pradhan Sharma, sir, for inviting me. And I'm happy to be here with my wife, Archana. So, I know this is a science platform. I think the main connect is probably that I am from an engineering background. But then I was also telling sir how science is there in music. So I'll come to that bit a little later. Though music and singing is an art, people believe that musicians or singers are born, they come blessed. But I think when you understand the science part of it, it's very scientific. And then anybody who learns, who has a good teacher, who has the discipline of practice, understands the scientific aspect, will be able to sing or play an instrument well because it's very mathematical, the notes and whatever you sing or play. I'll start with how I switched to maybe I'll maybe expand that one line of tech being tech. So I would say an accidental engineer. I didn't plan to become an engineer, but those days you had to become either a doctor or an engineer. I planned to become a doctor, became an engineer, and then I think landed up where I always had to. When I joined engineering, I told my dad I'll pursue music. Okay, because but then computer science was the thing, and we were all fortunate because I think it was IT boom. We got good jobs. I was fortunate to get to work in one of the core computer science areas called compiler design and implementation, which was one of our toughest subjects in computer science. Okay, so when I would come back to college and say I'm working in compiler design, it was a big thing. I worked with a small company, but I think that experience helped me to get into my second job, which was Intel. So Intel was a dream job. When I was working in the first company, I had two dreams. I said one is I want to work for one of the top tech companies, and then I would ask myself which companies, and I would just write down. People say no, you have to write down what you want. So that time Intel was somehow the first name, and I wrote some other companies. And also the other dream was to be able to pursue music or singing in some way. But how? What? Was not very clear. Whenever you set out to follow a dream, it's good that you are clear. But then when you're not from a music background or you don't have anybody in the family who is a musician, you don't know what to do, where to go about. And the interesting thing was I hadn't learned music formally earlier. Okay, so, little about my childhood. I was born, brought up in Abu Dhabi, UAE, where we then had very less access to music teachers. There was one music teacher I found, and then he said, "Your voice is not good." Okay. But I would like to thank my dad, who firmly said, "Stop learning from the teacher." Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest reason that I could pursue music. So, and that later became the fundamental philosophy that we believed when we started from up to my that never discourage anybody. I think a good teacher never discourages anybody. But I've seen a lot of music lovers or wannabe singers who come and say the teacher said you're not good, you're a slow learner. Then what is a teacher for? Yeah, I always believe that if somebody is earnest, who really loves to sing or who really wants to learn something, you help them. No, you be a good teacher and see how it's like. Otherwise, you take only the good singers and make them little better. I think there's no fun in that. So that eventually led us to starting from up to mic, and I think to have very clear philosophy of how we wanted to train and why we firmly believe that anybody could say. And after Intel, from Intel, okay, so Intel was the first dream achieved, and then I would go to my guru. When I came to Bangalore, I started learning from R.R. Keshavamurthy, sir, who is, I think, originally from Mysore. So I remembered him especially today. R.R. Keshavamurthy, sir, who used to play the seven-stringed violin. He was in his 90s then, but amazing uh, guru to have started with. I used to go to the guru early in the morning and then go to office. And then, from outside, it looks very glamorous, but the IT job is very demanding. And end of the day, you're tired. I didn't have time to practice, which made me think I'm learning, but I'm not practicing music. I think for anybody who's learning music or any art form, only learning is not enough. I think any learning that way. You have to learn, you have to practice also. So that made me eventually leave my job at Intel. So it's like leaving the first breed, and then a lot of people ask me what made you leave or how could you take such a stand? Because those days Intel is still a glamorous job. Those days it was still new to India, and very few people had got into Intel. I just said I didn't want to look back later and say, no, wish I had tried. So I said I'd rather try and succeed or not succeed. I think definition of success varies. It depends on, it's different for different people. I said I don't want to look back and say I wish I had tried. And then from Intel in Bangalore, I went to a Gurukul in Chennai, where I was only practicing learning music and practicing music for the whole day. So I was there for a couple of years. People in the music industry were asking me, "What are you doing? You left a well-paying IT job, and what are you doing here learning music? Because the scope for musicians is not much. You don't really get paid well." But then that time I was only learning music. I was not looking for opportunities. So I learned music for some time, and then eventually came back to Bangalore. I got back to IT again, okay, because I ran out of what I had saved, and then my resume showed the gap. So I didn't fill it. I didn't fill it with any fake experience or anything. I just said I was in a Gurukul learning music. Who would give you a job suddenly? But fortunately, because I worked in that niche area, compiler design, HP was looking out for a compiler designer with similar experience, and I just cracked the interview. I got it. So now I was able to balance both my IT job and little bit of singing music better, because I had the feeling now that I have at least started to learn a little bit of music, and I had practiced quite a bit, so I was better. I was still learning, but then I parallelly started assisting composers. I started creating my own music, my own songs, trying to release my singles, and then I worked on an album. Okay, so here there's another connection. Uh, the name of the album was called Reboot. Okay. So it was not just a music album, it was, we called it an audio film. Why audio film? Because if you listen to the whole CD, it was like a story. Through six songs, the story of a techie. Okay. So they say a piece of art is the reflection of the artist. So I believe, of course, you can just make love songs or anything, but I think whatever you create, there should be some kind of reflection of what you are or what you have been through. And then the idea of creating music audio film through six songs. The first song was Last Day of College, then Getting into Job, Flying to US, then a love song, then Work Pressure. So we made six songs on six phases of an IT person's career. And this work did well. It got me the Kannada International Music Award, Kima Award for Best Singer. And this was in Kannada. So I got to work with the great lyricist Jayant Kaikni sir. So these were all great achievements, I mean, then for me. And from there, I went on to work with Unisys, is where I met Archana, she was my colleague there. And then we shared interest for music, and We both quit Unisys, and when we got married, on the 50th day, we started from monk to mic. Okay. So exactly the 50th day. So what is from mug to mic? From mug to mic simply is a platform for bathroom singers. Seems like a very funny, amusing concept, right? So why platform for bathroom singers? Bathroom singers are what? What is the first word that comes to you when you say bathroom singer? A bad singer? Untrained singer. Good. So generally people think bathroom singer is bad singer. And normally when you ask anybody to sing, they say, no, no, I'm just a bathroom singer. So we said, why not give a platform to bathroom singer? Why? Because I think bathroom singers are the majority. There were platforms for people who were slightly good, who wanted to learn, the classical form. With all due respect to classical music, I've been learning classical music. I'm still learning classical music. But then this platform we thought should be for anybody who wants to be able to sing slightly better. Not to become a playback singer. We don't claim that you will become like Kishore Kumar or Rafi Saab or Lataji. No claims. Okay, we just say that singing for your own joy and singing to learn a little bit of music and get slightly better than what you were. That was the whole idea of From Up to Mic, and we said let's do one or two workshops. We did one or two, and then media felt this was very interesting. We got a lot of media coverage, and then in I think the first week of doing our two workshops, we got more than 500 phone calls because we had Bangalore Mirror and a lot of media write about it, and it got a lot of attention because the title said "Bathroom Singers This Way." And then I think we're full of bathroom singers, right? We have bathroom singers everywhere. So these bathroom singers were people who always loved to sing. All of you like your voice. All of you love your voice. Even if you say no, I think deep inside we all love our voice. If you don't, I think you should love your voice because I think that is what you are. That's like your signature. And we believe, I think everybody also likes to sing. At least in the bathroom, everybody hums. In our workshop, we would say, the only eligibility is you should have sung at least once in the bathroom. Okay, and then everybody is sung in the bathroom. So what started out as a funny, amusing idea, we knew we were doing something good, but then when we saw a lot of people come in and some people had tears of joy. So we did these workshops in studios. Now, why studio? This was again another USP of our workshop. We took bathroom singers straight out of the bathroom into a professional recording studio. Till then, nobody had done workshops in a professional studio. Professional studio was only accessible to professional singers who were recording for movies or who were involved in some kind of film work. Otherwise, you don't get to see the studio. So our workshops were packaged in such a way that people come, get to see the studio, so there's an off factor. And then I would give them an overview of what singing is, why I believe that everybody can sing, and try to bust few myths and misconceptions about singing. Okay, and everybody gets an opportunity to record in the studio. After the workshop, I would send their recording and an individual feedback for each singer. The feedback would be the strengths and the improvement areas. And then what started out like that eventually developed into a second level of workshop. So these workshops had to be very different from the traditional kind of learning. It was not a regular class. These were just formatted in form of workshops. Why? Because we wanted people with who had time only on weekends or who had maybe a few hours to come learn something, also meet like-minded people. So who came to our workshops? We had probably the most interesting variety of people who attended workshops. We had homemakers, we had retired people, we had young corporates, we had school children, everybody who only loved to sing. Nobody spoke about anything else. They just loved their songs. They just sang, felt very happy. And when we had, say, somebody like a retired person come and say, "No, I always wanted to sing, but I was always told you focus on your work, you get married, you settle down." He says, "Now, the kids are all settled, and now I have time to sing." So we realized through this workshop we were actually giving people freedom of expression. So when you're being given a chance to sing and a platform where you can be heard, we realized it's not just a singing workshop, but more a platform where they could express their voice through a song, but then they were able to express what they felt or they could showcase their voice. We did a lot of workshops and then we also started creating original music videos. Okay. So we did music videos for various causes. We did music videos for Women's Day. We did music videos for World Disability Day, for acid attack survivors. We did a song for World Mental Health Day in collaboration with NIMHANS, which was released by the then Union Health Minister. So we believe that music is the most powerful form of communication. You can tell people about a cause, you can talk about a cause, but I think if you can make it in the form of a song, it reaches out to people a little more better, I feel. And through our songs, we were happy that when we did the song for World Mental Health Day, we had people reaching out because we were collaborated with NIMANS. We had people reaching out saying, we have somebody in the family who maybe needs help. And because of social stigma, a lot of people don't talk about that or they don't know how to reach out for help. Because we did these songs, people reached out to us and we were able to connect them to, say, NIMHANS or some doctors like we knew. Similarly, when we did a song for acid attack survivors, we featured actual acid attack survivors in the song, and it was done for an NGO. And through the song, through the screening that happened at multiple places, the song got some attention. We were also able to raise some funds which helped some surgeries for acid attack survivors. I think normally people ask through a song, what can you do? Song is a song, it's just fun. But then we could see that even if one person listened to it and even if it made a little change, say 10 people listened to it, at least if one person thought about it. So acid attack survivors, what we realized is that they lose their face. So when we spoke to survivors, they said, first thing we lose is our identity. So the people who knew us earlier don't recognize us. And for no fault of us, people seem to be scared, or kids don't go to them, or parents pull them away. So through our song, we wanted to create some kind of an awareness, tell people what it is, and if we could get some help. So this is another area of work. We've been doing a lot of songs for various causes, and eventually Harvard, Ivy University, and Harvard published our case study. So from up to Mike is a case study at Ivy and Harvard universities. From up to Mike, the scale-up puzzle, it can be found. This case study is used to teach MBA students. In fact, we were invited to MDI Gurgaon and many other places where we were asked to share our journey. Again, like Sir said, this is a very different story. It's not like the normal business story or the normal tech story, but then a story I think that a lot of people could connect. And eventually, made we also designed and introduced elective on music and management and music communication and management in various universities like Ramaya University. We introduced this for MBA students, final year MBA students. Then now in Chanakya University, we've been running the third batch of music communication and management. Now, how is music and communication connected? I think time to ask your questions. Okay. Singing, I believe, is an extension of speech. Agree? How? Okay, how many of you have realized or ever thought that we all speak in different pitches? Pitch, you know what is pitch, no? So in singing or music, we call it your frequency, like sa, re, la, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. These are the different pitches. So when you say like hello, hello, somebody may say hello, somebody say hello, somebody says hello. So your hello can be hello, 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 hello. Everybody speaks in a different pitch. If you're not realized, you can go back and try to find out. So the way you speak can be there is music in that because there is pitch. There is also speed. When do we speak fast? When we are angry, anxious, nervous. Okay. When we are excited. So if I'm to say, hi everyone, I am so excited to be here. Doesn't sound excited, though I'm excited. Hello everyone, I'm so excited to be here. So there's the same words. When I speak it out a little faster, it sounds like I'm excited. When we meet friends, how do we say, Chal, this new movie has come, let's go watch the movie. You're excited and then your speaking is fast. But say an HR manager is announcing a layoff. Okay, if he calls you in the cabin cubicle and says, "So Sunil, as you know, the company is going through." In your mind, you're already fired. Okay. If it is a hike or something, it would have been fast. Hey Sunil, you know what's this? So so tempo actually tells us that there's a hidden story. So many times, knowing this, I think helps us to convey better. Somebody said angry, So when we are angry, we speak differently. Sometimes we realize, sometimes we realize, sometimes we don't realize. So when a husband and wife talk, so one person is, I told you this so many, and the wife is probably asking, why are you shouting? Why are you getting angry? I'm like, I'm not shouting. I'm not getting angry. But when you're talking loud, what does it mean? What does it convey? Generally conveys anger, right? Yes or no? Yes. Sometimes we talk loud, but we don't realize. Maybe we don't accept. Yeah, I was not angry. Yeah, we defend ourselves. Or if I would have to say, get out. Yeah, we will all laugh. But if I say, get out, yeah, you can see people shudder. So the same words when spoken in different parameters. So one can be your pitch, one can be the speed at which you speak, and your volume. Your volume conveys a lot of things. So same thing applies even in our singing. So if I sing नीले नीले अंबर पर चांद जब आए प्यार बरसाए soft हमको तरसाए ऐसा कोई साथी हो ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए. If I sing ऐसा कोई साथी, if I sing it soft, ऐसा कोई साथी हो, it doesn't convey that kind of an expression. ऐसा कोई साथी हो, it reaches out. This in singing is called voice dynamics. Okay, so you see how it applies to your singing and your speaking. Or oh ho ho oh ho ho ah, ah, ah. Anybody recognize this song? Ah, ये देख के दिल झूमा ली प्यार ने अंगड़ाई दीवाना हुआ बादल सावन की घटा छाई ये देख के दिल झूमा, ले प्यार ने अंगड़ाई, दीवाना हुआ बादल, ऐसी तो मेरी तकदीर न थी, तुम सा जो कोई महबूब मिले, दिल आज खुशी से पागल है. When I'm saying दिल आज खुशी से पागल है, I cannot sing दिल आज खुशी से it has to be दिल आज खुशी से पागल है, ऐ जाने वफा तुम खूब मिले, ऐ जाने वफा तुम खूब मिले, दिल क्यों न बने पागल और बजने लगी शहनाई, ये देख के दिल झूमा, ली प्यार ने अंगड़ाई, दीवाना हुआ बादल. Sometimes you don't need words. Hey, 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 ah. I not say anything. Hey, 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 ah, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ಕನಸೊಂದು ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ಮನಸ್ಸೆಂದು ಕುಣಿದಾಡಿದೆ, ಈ ಎದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಹಿಯಾದ ಕೋಲಾಹಲ, ನನ್ನೆದುರಲ್ಲೇ ಹೀಗೆ ಒಂದಾಗಲೇ, ನಿನ್ನ ತುಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಗುವಾಗುವ ಹಂಬಲ, ನಾನಿಂತಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಡಾದೆ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ನಿನ್ನಿಂದಲೇ ಕನಸೊಂದು ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ. So also here for a singer, voice dynamics is a very important thing. How you control your volume. This I think is very applicable even in the way we speak. If you think a little about it, I think you will start understanding. So this and a little more, some more things in our courses we talk about ethnomusicology. So ethnomusicology is the study or understanding of music of different regions. If you take, for example, folk music of India alone, so folk music of Karnataka, Karnataka itself is so rich, right? We have the coastal region is different. Every place in Karnataka is different. You take Andhra or Kerala, only south, north. You will see that the folk music is a reflection of what? What people do there. Fishermen had their songs. Harvest, they had songs. There was community singing. No, it is only now that people don't sing together, I think, as much. We all could sing. We all can sing, actually. Good or bad may differ a little bit. How good naturally we sing is a different story. Maybe naturally some of us are a little blessed. Some of us can learn singing and get better. But we all sang. We all sing national anthem, right? Do we say, I will not sing? We all sing. And how do we feel when we feel proud? So that is the power of music. So in our courses, we're not, these courses which go in as electives, it's not teaching music, but understanding that there is so much in music, learning to appreciate that music is so powerful. The first song we heard in our lives, the mother's lullaby, right? The mother didn't say, mom did not say, I cannot sing, you sleep if you want. Soja. No. Mom sang in whatever tune, some words, some nonsense words, or whatever, something. Right? So, song is there. What about jingles? We use jingles or songs to sell, right? Washing powder, Nirma. Washing powder, Nirma. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There are four ladies in the song. Anybody remembers? Sure, you will know. Hima, Rekha, Jaya, Sushma. See, why do we remember? Because it is in the form of a song. And though these jingles sound funny when It comes as an ad. No, nobody may generally sing when you're washing, but it's funny, it's amusing, it's catchy. Do you think washing powder Nirma would have been as catchy? No, because it's sung in a very catchy way. The lyrics are written in such a way that what do jingles do? Ultimately, jingles want you to buy that product. No, it creates brand recall. It they keep playing it on radio, on TV, so that we know the brand very often. We see a lot of ads, no, which keep coming. Those days, another one when we used to watch on video cassettes. Vico Turmeric was a very popular. Yeah. Hamara Bajaj, yes. So Hamara Bajaj, we worked with somebody who was on the team of Hamara Bajaj. So jingles are not just silly songs, but actually help to sell. So why was Hamara Bajaj jingle made that time? Because I think scooters were kind of on the decline, and I think the bikes were coming, right? Anybody remembers? So then, what did Hamara Bajaj say? Hamara Bajaj brought in uh, emotion, family and patriotism also. And then actually they saw sales shoot up. So see the magic of jingle. So through these workshops, through these courses, we also help participants, students to be creative. We give them say, this is your product. Try to make your own jingle. So there is creativity, there's also teamwork, and then in some time, this activity we do it in a lot of places. So understanding jingles, how music is used to create brand recall, how it's used for selling. Even during elections, I'm sure you would have heard songs. Every party has a song. Why song? So again, you resort to music. So music, learning music or listening to music does something in the brain. We all know that, no? We get goosebumps, we get tears of joy. So apparently, music connects the right and left side of the brain. It releases some kind of dopamine which makes us feel happy. That's why you would have seen videos which say sing, you feel happy. You don't have to be happy to sing. You just sing and you feel happy. For me, it's always been that way. From right from childhood, my dad used to play the cassette, and then people can listen to songs and go to sleep. I cannot go to sleep because I'm listening. How the singer has sung. Oh, there's the violin coming. There's the guitar playing. I'm analyzing all that. Now, when I say that there is science in music, I just sang sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Okay, these are 7 notes. Anybody who's learned music, I'm sure. Okay, so I have to be careful. Okay, so 7 notes, and in addition, there are 5 more. In Carnatic Hindustani, we say Komal and Shuddha. So, Sa, Re, Ga, Ga, Ma, Ma, Pa, Dha, Dha, Ni, Ni, Sa. 12 notes. Each notes have exactly 100 cents between them. So, 100 cents is the unit of frequency. Okay, so it is very scientific. When you do your riyaz or sadhana, we put on the tanpura. Yeah, anybody who's learned music will know. Earlier days it was the real tanpura, then it became the shruti box. Now it is on phone. Everything is on the phone. So I still have my shruti box, not the real tanpura, but I like to use because when I'm practicing, I like to keep the phone away because along with the app, you'll be also replying to messages. So discipline is one thing. When we practice this, we try to match that frequency. Some people are able to naturally match, some are not. So somebody may sing sa, or somebody may sing sa. It could be because of 2 reasons. Okay, I'm convincing you why everybody can sing. Anybody believes all cannot sing? Anybody thinks everybody can sing? No. So I'll hear all of you sing today. Yeah. One is your ear tells you that this is you understand that, and your voice needs to be trained. You keep practicing. Other thing is your ear still has not understood that I sing the, I'm singing because I'm not understanding the note. So once you have trained your ear and your voice, you will be able to sing. So sa ma ga ma re ga sa re sa ga re ga sa re ga ma, something more. Or sa ga re ma ga pa ma da pa ni da sa re sa ga re ma ga pa ma da pa ni da sa re sa ga re pa da ma pa ga ma re ga sa re sa. These are all patterns. Sa re ga ma pa ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ni da pa ma da pa ma ga pa ma ga re sa. Pa da ni sa re ga ma pa da ni sa re ga ma pa. Pa ma ga re sa re ga ma ga re sa ni da pa. What did I do? I went from a lower lower octave to higher octave. Okay, this is important for a singer. You need to have your range, vocal range. It's like for a sportsman, you say stamina or how much can you run. So if you're a football player, you just not know how to play the game. You also need stamina. So how much in one breath can you sing, or how? So how do you measure range? If somebody asks, what is your range? So everything is scientific. You say so many octaves. I can sing one octave, I can sing one and a half, I can sing two. Most people can sing, but they don't know how good is their range. So it's important to understand what is your range. This is scientific. Okay, and even how you practice these paltas or the sadly will say sazari re ga ga ma ma ba ba da da ni sa sazari re ga ga ma ma re ga ga ma ma ba ba ga ga ma ma ba ba da ga ma ma ba ba da da ni ba ba da da ni sa sama ga ma re ga sa re sa ga re ga sa re ga ma ba ga ma re ga ma re ga ma ba. These are all patterns. Okay. Did you know that if you have not learned music, or you've always thought, or you've thought, why should I learn music? Okay. You should know that on the official website of Nobel Prize, there is a tab which talks about music and Nobel Prize winners who have learned music. Okay. Albert Einstein was a musician, a proper musician. He carried his violin around wherever he went, and he also played the piano. In fact, he said he thought in terms of music. So patterns, whenever apparently he was stuck with a problem, some theorem, some equation, he would take a break and come and play the violin, or play the piano, or play the violin, because the patterns in music help him to think. So what we think, generally people think, why learn music? I've heard a lot of people say, why learn music? Will it give you money? No. So you doing your job, focus on that, do some extra course, get some certification. Why are you learning music? It will not give you anything. But when people read of such research, or if at all they know that a lot of these scientists, in fact, many of these scientists, they also jammed together apparently. So Planck, Heisenberg. There's one popular medical laureate who said uh, a well maintained lab is like a finely tuned band. Yeah. So because in a band, again, it's maths and science. Everybody has to be tuned to the same pitch. If you are on C scale or C sharp or D, all instruments have to be tuned. You would have seen in a concert the tabla play tuck 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 tuck, or what are they doing? They're tuning to be on the same pitch. So a well maintained lab is like a well tuned band. In fact, these days, like Sir said, I am also invited as a speaker, though I'm not a speaker. I'm more, I would only sing. People call me in these very serious forums. So there was a software product management summit at IIM Bangalore. What should I be talking about there? So a very famous Professor Sadagopan, yes, a legend who I had only read of, and later I got to meet him, and he said, "Sunil, what you're doing is great job," and he, sir kept calling me, and he invited me as a speaker at the Software Product Management Summit. He said it's a 2 day program. End of the first day, your program is going to be like the cocktail party. He said whole day people have spoken so much about pie charts and PPTs and all terminologies. He said you talk about your journey and connect with people on music and something that I want to talk about and sing and also make people sing. So it was a very well received talk, come singing session, and I'm also invited to a lot of such forums where singing is used as a communicate as a bonding uh, activity, even in corporates. So we have been doing a 1 year program at Mintra. Okay, so we are going back to corporate now only to sing and make people sing. Okay, because people, you must have read about a lot of burnouts, people getting stressed, people working a lot, then you don't know what you're working. You're just waiting for the end of the month salary because you just have to work, you just have to get your pay package. So a lot of companies are realizing, and they've invited us to design either short programs or longer programs where these activities help people to break ice, because people work in silos, people work in very separate, disconnected teams. For example, the front office, the back office, the testers, the admins, nobody interacts with each other. They just work in their team and go away. So they said if you could design some programs where our people between teams get to connect, get to interact, and also it becomes a platform for them to showcase what talent they have. We have done this at a lot of companies. We have done programs at Google, we have done for Fortinet, we have done the talent hunt and auditions and training at Volvo's Silver Jubilee, now Mintra, we've been doing for about a year. So even though people are stressed out, companies are realizing that it is important to make a platform and space and time for employees within the office, where it's like weekly 1 hour or 2 hours where they can just come. Maybe they are still in a meeting, they come with the laptop, they are still tapping, in between they sing a song, or they just listen to somebody sing, or they learn to play some chords on the guitar, or it can be any form of art, it can be dance, it can be painting. But how important it is to bring some form of art into uh, our lives. In fact, psychiatrists are now prescribing that please go listen, sit in a music concert, go watch paintings, see, go to a painting exhibition. I think now it's become so much about self, my career, my success. Even you go to LinkedIn, people are just talking hello connections. Connection, okay. If people are only wanting connection and better job and only for me, not for the other person. So when people say how to network, how to connect, so tell them, I think more than getting help, it is important to be able to help people. So help people and take some time to read a book, listen to a song, try to sing a song. It's reached a stage where psychiatrists are prescribing this, but I think we all had this. We have such a rich culture, and coming to Mysore is such a refreshing experience. My wife also did her MTech over here. She showed me her college, and she took me to a couple of places for coffee and restaurants. I think we have so much to appreciate. Even when even when I talk about musicology, I think you learn a lot of tolerance. Why? Because somebody says, I don't listen to Tamil music, I listen to only Malayalam. I don't listen to Kannada, I listen to only Telugu. Why? Music is music. No, in fact, when A.R. Rahman composes, he composes in Saregama or notes. And then the lyricist, Kannada lyricist is given Tamil, Telugu, right? So I think arts help us to break those barriers. It has always been there. We have popular books being translated, we get to read of that culture, we get to appreciate paintings, there's no language. No? So I think an effort to communicate, to enrich culture, language, music, I I think it's very important. I've also been a fan of Sir's work, a lot of through Kannada medium. So even though I am not born a Kannadiga, my wife is a Kannadiga, so I'm kind of half Kannada. I learned to read and write Kannada in 3 days. I'm not very fluent, but I learned to read and write. Sometimes I just overlook and read, but I can read and write because I wanted to. So because I work with lyricists like Jain Peknis, I cannot tell him in English. I would like to read it in the language. I can read, or when some article is written about me in the paper, I can at least read, even if the words are difficult, but I can try to read. And also through From Mug to Mic, we have helped a lot of non-Kannadigas sing Kannada songs. How interesting, no? A Malayali getting people to sing Kannada songs. In fact, we also created a song for Karnataka Rajyotsava few years back, and it was Archana's idea that why don't we create a song which has all the districts of Karnataka. So it was a new idea. We approached Dr. Nagendra Prasad, if you know, one of the biggest Kannada film lyricists. He agreed to write, and then the song talks about it's like Nanu Kannadamma is the name of the song. It's like Kannadamma traveling from North Karnataka till through Karnataka. So through and in that song we had Marathis, we had Delhi person, somebody from Calcutta, somebody from Tamil Nadu, Malayali composer, everybody. We all sang the Kannada song. It was featured on TV. It was featured on a lot of medium, and we also conduct exclusive Rajyotsava programs. This Rajyotsava also I released a song. I'm also planning to do some more. So we also encourage people instead of scolding people saying, no, why can't you speak? I think art is a very nice way to to spread the language. You sing a Kannada song, everybody loves it. Because there is that beauty in music, and I think it's a very rich culture. A lot of Jnanpith Award winners. I'm very fond. I try to read as much as I get time to explore different works because I think art, music, books. That's the way forward. That's the way to become more tolerant and be happier. And if you are happy, I think you make. If you smile, I think you can make somebody else happy. I just saw Shashidhar sir and I said, "You look very familiar." Then I said, "Maybe it's just that you're warm." So I think well, nobody smiles now, especially in corporate world. It's like yeah, everybody acts like they know everything. Maybe they know everything, but I'm like I don't know much. I think I'm still learning. What did I learn from working with legends like I've assisted SPB sir, K.S. Chitra ma'am, Hariharan sir? I recorded 2 months back. They are so humble, you will not believe. So SPB sir would say that every song is like my first song, and he calls everybody sir. Okay, and after singing every 2 lines, he would ask, "Did I sing correct?" Chitrama would ask me, "Please correct me if I'm wrong." Like, what can I even tell, So, but that's what I think these great people also teach. They're so humble and they're so prepared. Nowadays, we see people just come with lyrics on the phone or just like that humble. But I see that these great singers they come prepared. They either get the lyrics printed or they have the lyrics written in their handwritten. They write down the notation. If Hariharan sir, the song we did was a mix of English, Kannada, and Hindi. So the Kannada lyrics, he was so particular. I was like, why? He has sung so many Kannada songs, but he was so particular that the words are pronounced right. He got the everything written so clearly. I think that preparation. So many times, I think we just go unprepared. We are like, it's okay. I'll just do something. And I've seen Chitra ma'am. I've sung with her on stage. She has sung her own songs, which were composed 25 years back, but she would still practice it every rehearsal. Every city, she would practice the same song maybe 4 times, 5 times. She said, "No, no, I went wrong. Let me sing again." I think that is also something that I've learned a lot. To say I went wrong, I want to learn. Normally we just try to put it on somebody in corporate or everywhere. We just blame somebody else. So I think that is something that we all, I think, can take away lessons. This is in just what I planned to talk. Anything, Archana, you want to say something?
I have always wondered about music because I could learn music and also think that I am tone deaf. So probably. One of the things is there are certain songs which become very popular, though the lyrics are not so good. So what makes it like that? The one thing that comes to my mind is, for example, there is one song in Kannada called Kariya I Love You. Okay. So the lyrics are very ordinary. But from a child of about 6 to 7 months to an adult of 67 years, we still listen to that. Though I may not like the lyric, but still that is there. In fact, it is the one song that comes on our garbage truck also. What makes these
With the same lyrics, or do they change the lyrics?
It's a,
Like jingle, like
yeah,
parody.
exactly. So, what makes music tick like this? Is it the tone? Is it the what we call as raga or the composition?
Good, very good question, sir. In fact, I think even I don't have a precise answer, because if we knew, we could all create hit songs. You know. So I think even hit movies, sometimes people ask A.R. Rahman, why do you give better music for the bigger directors? So he says because those directors are very clear what they want. And I think when we are composing, if the clearer we are what we want to convey, it becomes it conveys the right thing. And many times it is just the groove. Like another example, "Aaj blue hai pani, 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 pani." It's only one word. Another word, "Jil hai sani, sani, sani." It is a very hit song. So we may argue there is no raga in it. Where is the raga? You don't even need raga. Okay, so some again a song or music is very personal. Somebody may like it, somebody may not like it. But when it comes to film, I think it also film is hugely popularized also with the hero heroine, and there's a lot of promotion. Those songs are played many times on radio also, on radio on TV. I think any song you hear 10, 20 times, you will start liking it. There have been songs the first time I heard, I'm like, but then you keep hearing it, and then I think it's that crowd psychology also. You know this is a popular song, so I also like it. It becomes like that. I think a lot of songs become like that, but more intelligently composed. Of course, we have we've had such great composers who use ragas or experimented beyond ragas, uh, beautiful lyrics, intelligent rhythm, orchestration, not just tune and lyric. It's also the orchestration. Uh, how many instruments, violin section, percussion, keys. So all that makes it beautiful. So sometimes it's just the lyrics, sometimes it is the groove, sometimes it is a tune, and a combination of all that. Like I said, film music is made popular by popular hero, heroine. It's the popular culture, like as compared to maybe a devotional album or a non-filmy album. Unless it gets that popular media, maybe there is a very good song, but it is not picturized on a hero and heroine, and they don't have big posters. It doesn't play in the theater, so it doesn't reach out to people as much.
So this second question based on that. Okay. Like when you compose music for a film, it will be different. Okay, and when you compose it for non-film, maybe devotional and other things, it will be different. Okay, so that means there are certain elements of music which are medium. So I am now speaking in terms of engineering or mathematics. So there are certain things which are medium, certain things extreme. So do we always take these medium things to compose very popular music? And if so, what are those?
I kind of got your question. Can you repeat the last slide, sir?
If we usually select for composing for a popular music, the median characteristics of music, it could be the pitch, it could be the tempo, it could be the whatever it is. Okay, the elements of music. And if you are selecting for popular, only the medium listener, and what are the those particular elements that we usually look for? Do you look for like that if, when you are composing for a film music, or does it happen just like that?
So yeah, film and so I'll maybe generalize the question. Film and non-film music. So film is mainly, for example, if I am composing for a film versus me composing for an album. So film is governed by a director. So somebody who has to approve the tune. So sometimes the director knows about music, sometimes they don't know about music. Maybe I'm giving my best tune, but he's like, it's not happening. Especially when you're a beginner, they will give you references of A.R. Rahman or Hans Zimmer, that kind of references, but your budget will be very small. So budget is another very important factor for the tune may be great, but then if I am not able to implement the tune with good musicians. So when I worked on my album, so I went out of budget because I went to record bass guitar. Keith Peters, who plays for Rahman, I went to record him in Chennai. Maxwell, who plays trumpet for Ilayaraja, we recorded him in Chennai. Uh, we experimented. So in non-filmy, I think there is the freedom to experiment, and I think that is still happening now. In between, I think there was a break. Earlier, if you hear the pop songs were very different, and even now people are experimenting because it is not meant to sound like film. So film has a certain characteristic. Say it has to be peppy or it has to have like many violence because the hero heroine runs in a particular fashion, and there has to be BGMs which are very fast because they're shooting abroad or things like that. But in non-film, generally you don't have it connected to a story or a hero heroine or a strong visual. So we tend to experiment. Okay, I can say, I may go a little more with some raga, or I may explore a different genre like reggae or something, so which we tried in our album, or we used fusion. So we used Hindustani classical voice singing with trance music. So all that experiment becomes little limited in film because in film then generally they give you a hit song and tell me one more song like this. You cannot make that song again; it's already made. But then what happens? Because you are asked to make a song like that, you cannot make something else that you want. They want it to sound in some way like that, which is very limiting. Sometimes it's very you feel very sad because you feel there's something better you can do, but they say no, 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 no. We want like this. Maybe a good tune is just rejected because they feel they want it in a particular way. And also in film, it is the situation. So a love song, a sad song, uh, a party song. It's based on what the story is.
From a composing point of view,
Yes, sir.
your learning of classical has helped, or is it an inhibition?
Not at all. So it has only helped.
Not from singing point of view, from composing.
Yes, composing also. Yes. So it is important to be in the box and also be able to.
You start
be.
by thinking, okay, let me do it on Chandra and then go later, or it happens to be Chandra.
No, no, no. Sometimes I think it has to be raga based, or it has to have because I feel this mood. I want to touch upon the mood of that raga, and then maybe I may delineate a bit. But sometimes it is not. I deliberately think it should not be a raga. She's a much better speaker than I am. I'm revealing it then. Sir would have changed. He would have asked her to talk. Yes, sir.
I have a question which may appear very silly. Given a song and the tune, how do you recognize the notes?
Ah. No, it is not a silly question, sir. It is something which needs a lot of lot of learning, lot of understanding of notes as such. Have you learned, sir, music? Sorry.
Bathroom singer.
Okay.
Okay.
So to be a good singer, it is. Let me clarify this. People think you should know notations, swaras. Not necessary. More than understanding exactly what swara it is, you have to understand. Like suppose it's like sa re ga. Both gas are different. So da ra ra, ta ra ra. I'll give you an example. So, mere naina sawan bhado. This is supposed to be in Rag Shivranjani. Sa re ga pa dha sa. So R.D. Burman has composed, but it is not. He has used dhatu also. Right in the beginning of the song itself. He has used saga, which is not the Shivaranjani. In the beginning itself. Which so saga ga is more that too Shuddha is a more happy song. Then mere naina savan bhado फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा फिर भी मेरा मन प्यासा. And even in the stanza, hmm, बरसों बीत गए हम बिछड़े बिजली बनकर गगन पे थम के बीते समय की रेखा. So here he has used both sa ga ra ga. So that is like a wow. So where to use it, that only he knew. So why he had to use it only here and there. So that I don't know what is the explanation. If you have learned only raga, raga will tell you not to use that. Shuddha. Then I would have got a serious different tune. But he said, for the kick of it, let me try. But only at the right place. So say अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल. Where the dil comes is a tivrama. Asama ga ga ma ga re ga re sa dha ni re re va tara. So when you use that note, it gives you that feel. But where, according to the lyric, where can I experiment slightly? That I think comes with also a lot of listening. So I'll take example of Hariharan sir, whom I have been a huge fan. I asked him because I got a chance to meet him. We did workshop together under from up to my many years ago, where I curated a set of questions and asked him on practice, on music. So he came up with colonial cousins, he and Leslie Lewis, and he is born into a Carnatic music family. Later on, went to learn from Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Khan Sahab, who I was fortunate to again have been associated. I learned from Ustad's son, Kadir Mustafa Khan Sahab, and I've had the fortune of sitting with Ustad, singing his composition and interacting. So I asked Hariharan sir, what all do you listen to? So he listens to a lot of rock and reggae and all kinds of music, not just Carnatic or Hindustani. So if you want to be creative, be a composer, be experimentative, I think you should listen to beyond what is just what you think is good. What you think is good. So everybody is born into a particular family. You listen to particular kind of music. I grew up listening to Malayalam music, Yeshudas and Supreme. I'm a huge fan of this. Slowly, I started listening to. Because of him, I listened to Carnatic. Then slowly, I listened to Hindustani. Then Western. I try to learn a little bit of Western, little bit of Hindustani. So the more you learn, you will see that the basics are same. The 12 notes remain the same. The words you use in Hindustani and Carnatic, you may have same raga, but the presentation may be different. Or you use similar tunes even in Western, but again the presentation, the gamak, all that may be different. But then understanding or listening, understanding and listening to different kinds of music, different artists. For a singer, listening to different singers is important. Otherwise, you tend to start imitating only that singer. If you listen to three, four different singers, you will imitate all of them, and eventually you will probably develop your own style.
But I have tried listening to heavy metal, so-called heavy metal. I just couldn't get it. Is there any way I can get it? Sound like
Keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
country music is fine, pop is fine, but rock
Not the same way. You don't get it.
I think it's a different way of expression. Every the way I express, the way somebody else expresses, it's different. So somebody says, Western music is like shouting. Somebody who's maybe from India, so they would say your classical music is like crying. Or even in Carnatic and Hindustani itself, hardcore Carnatic musicians will say Hindustani is very slow. I'm or Hindustani people will say, I'm generalizing, okay? This is not to be quoted. Hindustani people may say Carnatic, they cannot sing Unda, they don't sing
I had an interesting, so we have a jingle in the beginning of my podcast, and that was composed by a group of people, students, actually in the pop genre. I tried to change that into various other genres, including pop, the jazz or other things. I cannot find the one which I like than the one that is composed by in the pop. I don't know why. So,
So I think the answer is in what you said. You said I cannot seem to like. Somebody else may like.
okay.
I'll tell you another very personal experience. I worked on an album which won me that award. 6 songs. I had worked so many years, 2, 3 years, and then I just played some of the songs to a friend of mine who had heard some of my earlier songs which I made with lesser effort, lesser budget, lesser. He heard all songs and he very honestly said, I didn't like any song. He was very nice to say he didn't like. And in that song, there is one song which is country, one is reggae, one is fusion, one is soft rock, one is hip hop. So I did not personally. I don't like all of them, like hip hop and reggae, and all those new for me. But then surprisingly, the ones I liked most was the love song which Jayant Kaiknisa wrote and the soft rock which won me award. But some of them like the songs which I liked least. They like the not the pop kind or the hip hop. So I cannot say why don't you like this? Or somebody, or for that matter, some song I put on Instagram, somebody heard and said, "This is so good," and I thought it was not good at all. I wanted to remove it off. He's some director, some film director. He said, "I really loved. This is so good." So I think whenever you create now, this year earlier I made a song for Puneet Rajkumar, uh, which was released by his wife Ashwini Ma'am. It was a very difficult song to make. Why? Because it is in memory of him. It's very sensitive. It cannot be a sad song. It cannot be like a peppy song. But people may argue. So we also had arguments when while making. There is a producer, there is a marketing team, there is me. So in my mind, so I thought of kind of very sensitive. I thought it should have the melody element and a little bit of classicalism uh, because I think it represents the love that people had for him and how good and kind he was. I thought it shouldn't be sad, but at the same time, when people listen to it, they remember him, and they should also. It's a very difficult feeling to compose. You cannot make a happy song. Maybe some may accept that, some may want a very sad, but it was a difficult song to compose, and uh, I was really happy when Shuni ma'am, we recorded in PRK Studios. She did a preview listening, and uh, she was touched. She said she really loved it, and then it was screened. It was released by Gopalan Mall as part of Super Singer contest, and she was touched. I think it's when you compose a song and sometimes you see somebody gets a tear in their eye. So you don't know whether it is this raga that will make it happen or this arrangement. You don't know what is it that works, but I think that for a musician is something that if you can evoke and without, like I said, without uh, without it being a film song, especially when these kind of compositions which are non-filmy to create some kind of people say we got goosebumps, we got tears. I think
Any questions?
One technical question. I heard these days, the softwares which are used in the recording studio are so good that even if the instrument is off key, the singer is off key, then don't worry about it. We will adjust.
yes, yes. I wanted to talk about that. I didn't talk. About. So
Is that
yes,
true? Is
yes.
that true? Does it happen?
You can totally not sing and I can make it sound like singing. It can be ba ba black shape. Have you can become ba ba black shape. Have you any? You can change because it's again like I said, it's all pitch. Ba ba black sheep or happy birthday to you. We place that whatever they have sung that way, we place it on that note, and it can be. And very good engineers can make it sound as good as possible. But people who are engineers or people in the field, we know it is slightly corrected. Or even breathless kind songs where you just sing continuously. So it can be cut and pasted. So sarigari, sarigama gari, sarigama sarigari. I can sing sarigari and then sarigama gari and cut. Sarigari, sarigama gari. That breath can be reduced, it can be increased, and I can place it together. It's all very intelligent engineers who can do that. And also we
Was breakfast done like that? Sorry.
no. In fact, he has told even SPB sir when he did Manmilan the Kadal, that breathless kind song or Shankar Mahadev sir. So they are all legends, sir. And they can pull it off on stage like it is breathless. Why? Because they can breathe in within a fraction of a second, which is almost like breathless. Now, technology has been used to make it, yeah.
I have two doubts. Why everyone don't like the different kind of music, but music is equal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why everyone don't like different kinds of music?
Yeah, I think it's like food also. I say, we complain. Somebody says, I don't like Tamil sambar. I like Kannada sambar. I like Kerala style. It's like food. Why? I think everything is good, no? Sometimes you feel like having, while coming, we enjoyed such good food over here. It may be different, slightly different in taste, but there is a lot in common. Like I said, it's all just the 7 or 12 notes. But then how different it can sound, you know?
Can be
Uh,
conditioning and the state of mind.
Yes, yes. And there are different forms of expression. Somebody may not like long, alap, and they don't like. They want something peppier. What everybody wants is, it's pizza or burger or you want idli. Or I think it's like that. So as musicians, I think so. I don't say I don't like a particular song, especially because we know the kind of effort that has gone in. And also, one more thing to add, sir, what you said. Nowadays, people, when you don't have budget, you cannot use live instruments. So there are plugins which can give you sound of a sitar, sound of a guitar, sound of flute, but you don't have that flute player playing now. So the magic in their fingers and the way they blow. So that can only be given by that flute player or the way a guitarist has practiced uh, the movements on the strings. So you need that guitarist. So wherever possible, we try to use real musicians. But due to lack of budget, people tend to use programmed music, which make it sound little artificial, not so rich. Earlier songs used a lot of rich orchestra, so many violins, and then earlier recordings were all done together. male singer, female singer, the chorus singers, they were all together. If one person made a mistake, everybody had to repeat. Now it's not like that. If I make a mistake, you tell either you correct it, or if I have sung one line, I'll tell copy paste. The same, if I sing nindale kanasondu shuruvage. Well, the same thing, no? Copy and then you copy same thing. One more variation, nindale, I'll give. Or we can copy paste. So copy paste is there. Singers can sing from different locations. Duet singers don't even know that they have sung duet together. For example, the song we did with Hariharan sir, it was composed here. The guitarist recorded in Dubai. The flute saxophone player recorded in Cochin. Percussions in Bangalore. Hariharan sir was recorded in Bombay, mixed mastered in Bombay. And these people have not met each other. Yes.
So, if you can just put auto tune and everything and adjust it the way you want, what is in this model? So, what is the use of actual good singers? In other words, what is the difference between artificial and good real music?
But you cannot sing like that, no? You can only play and sound like that. So if I have to
If
sing,
you are singing live, you can just put auto tune on the mic. So,
but do you want to sing like that? Is the question. How I want to sound is a different thing. It can still be doctored, tuned and all that. But if I have to just sing like that, you don't have to learn singing. You can be like that. That is one category. So I have even somebody asked me a very shocking question. I don't want to learn music. I can still compose using AI. I was like, it's true, no? Yeah, that is the way you want to compose. I was talking to a radio friend of mine. He's a head of a radio station. How people are experimenting with AI. I think sir also asked me that asked me that question. So he's somebody in the commercial space. He said people are agreeing that the soul of what a composer has, or the soul. Definitely, you can use AI for some kind of generic stuff. I think the soul still remains with a real composer. What the composer feels, his experience.
Last one question. Sorry for. Oh, you have.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's what you talked about an experimentation, composing, singing. I have tried some kind of experiment. I don't know, but somebody else did. You can recognize the sound. ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವರಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ವರವು ಸ್ವರವೇ ನನ್ನದಾಗಲಿ ಸ್ವರಗಳ ನದಿಗಳು ದಶದಿಕ್ಕುಗಳಿಂದ ಹರಿಯುತ್ತ ಸೇರಲಿ ಸಾಗಲಿ ಮೋಡಗಳ ಗೀತ ಚದುರಿ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಸುರಿಯಲಿ ಕೈಯಾರಲಿ. So this
very nice. So you wrote the lyrics, huh? You wrote the words.
Kannada word actually.
You wrote it.
So original of course is in
Village.
English.
Very nice.
Since I have written some kind of, for example, I'm sorry. But I did some of this translated from Hindi especially, Kannada. The same tune.
Same tune and sing. Yeah. It's good, sir. That shows that you have the creative writing.
So what's your take on the copyright? When does the composer become the owner of a melody?
I think very debated. I think many big singers have stopped singing with each other because of this discussion. Some people feel, I get paid, that is enough. Some people feel, I still, because I have contributed.
Nowadays, there's more awareness and more legal battles are going on. With Ilayaraja reclaiming all the old 80s songs from
Even when we perform, I think the hotel, like in 5-star hotels, I think they need to get a license, IPRS license to perform, depending on what kind of songs, because I think every song falls into some kind of license.
When do you have your workshops? You conduct them now also?
Yes.
How do we get in touch with that?
So I think Archana will. From mug to mic. Uh, I think we are on Instagram, Facebook. You can also take our number, stay in touch. Yes, sorry to keep you waiting.
I have a doubt. One day I was trying to sing like Imagine Dragons,
Okay.
and I wrote the lyrics, but I can't sing it. So
Okay.
how can I sing it? Right?
Just sing 2 lines of that.
Actually, I don't. First things first, I'm a sail on the birds is on my head. I'm fired.
Na, 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 na. Oh. You're singing fine only, no? Whatever you sang till now was fine. So I'll tell you what probably because the words are a little fast. So one trick is to first practice saying the words alone before singing it. So songs where there are a lot of words or it's like kind of breathless or fast, write down and learn four lines or two lines. Any complicated song. Now what you sang the first 2 lines were correct. There's nothing wrong. So take two lines, four lines, then try to practice them. 2 lines, then take next 2 lines, then practice 4 lines together, then add 2 more lines. There are some lines which are very fast. I'm sure that is where you get stuck. No? So practice saying the words clearly first, and then you can put it to tune and practice.
And he sings like something else, and I'm singing like something else. How can I sing like him?
So again, okay, one is the tune, one is the rhythm, the speed. Other thing is the accent. When it comes to Western songs, so because I went to little Western, some Western classes. So when we sing like O, our O's are O. So country road, it's actually country roads take me home. Normally we would sing country roads take me home. I belong, but I belong. So there's more of awe. And the way it's the those are a little more emphasized. So of course we cannot sing like somebody else. So that way I think nobody should try to sing even like. So I love Yeshudas sir, SPB sir, Hariharan sir. I want to sing like them, but then uh, in music, if you want to be original, if you want to be a real musician, the toughest thing is to sing like you. Because otherwise they would say, somebody said, this singer sings like SPB, give him chance. They had told Rahman. Rahman said, SPB sir is never should called him. So nobody needs to sing like that. Sing in your style and that may become special.
I mean, he sings
What's your name?
Samhita. Samhita.
Samhita.
Samhita.
Samhita.
Actually, I mean, he sings bold and clear, but when I try to sing, I'll sing in high pitch, but I don't sing in bold pitch.
So all that is practice. Are you learning music? You're learning music. So I think you should check with your teacher. So boldness, voice, power, all that comes with a lot of practice. Like I said, even simple practice. You keep practicing sa for many years. Why do you have to sing sa? I've been very closely associated with Dr. Balamurali Krishna sir, who would sing only sa, at the beginning of his concert, and that sa is something else. It is only sa, but nobody can sing sa like that. Why? Sa is just a fundamental note. Then the more you learn and practice, you realize that sa itself is so powerful. So the more you learn, you will understand how that power develops, how your breath control is, how clearly you can sing. All that comes. There are voice exercises, just like you go to the gym and work out. There are voice exercises, like I said, to improve your range, to improve your clarity of note. Some people sing, it's very close, but only when you open your mouth and try opening your mouth and singing, you will, most people sing from the throat. So when you sing open, how do you sing open mouth? By opening your mouth and singing first. Sounds different from so. जब दीप जले आना जब दीप जले आना आना, जब शाम ढले आना आना, is muffled. आना, संकेत मिलन का. All your vowels have to be clear. A, E, O, U. भूल न जाना मेरा प्यार न बिसरा. आ, जब दीप जले आना. Mostly people sing जब दीप जले आना, रोजा जाने मन, रोजा जाने मन. You have to articulate really well. Even when you speak, that speak. तू ही मेरा दिल, तुझ झ is not तुझ, तुझ बिन, no, तुझ तुझ बिन तरसे नैना. So, and English is different. The way you pronounce English, see, we speak our mother tongue. So English is a foreign language. We may not sound like, like that person because he has his way of pronouncing. Same way, he cannot sing a Kannada song or a Hindi song like us. Right? So I think believe in your basics, learn, practice well, and then whatever voice you sing in your style, that becomes your identity. It's important to develop your identity. That is why we had Asha Bhosle ji and Lata ji. If Asha ji sang like Lata ji, we would have not listened to her. No? Or Usha Uthup was very different. We love Usha Uthup songs. So similarly, every singer is different. Suprinder Singh is very different. Kailash Kher is different. Sonu Nigam is different. Hariharan sir is. Hariharan sir said he sang like many different singers till he developed his style. So important for every singer. If singing is something you want to do seriously, I think you have to practice different kinds of songs. Don't try to sound like them, but the technical aspect should be correct. The sur, tal, all that should be correct. You need not sound like that. You want to sing.
No, I wanted to tell her, you learn handwriting, right, from your teacher. Do you write like her? You don't. You have your style, right? That's how it is. You should have your style. Like he said, like Sunil sir said, if you're singing like somebody, you're imitating. You're not singing. You're not looking to imitate, right? So when you need your style, your creativity should come in. And I think for anybody, when we are beginning, we shouldn't have a, like I want to sing like them. We are only hearing, but we are not seeing the practice they have done. We are not seeing it's like you see somebody, hero on the screen or heroine, they look good, but the diet, the exercise, whatever they have done, that is not shown on screen. We only see the best part of it, the reflection. But what got into that is not seen because it's personal journey. So do not stop because you're not able to go to that perfection. It should be a journey. You'll eventually reach there. And so much time on our hand, only practice can be consistent.
I'll add one more point to that.
Sure.
So it reminded me. So there's one very big guru, okay, Dr. T.V. Gopalakrishnan. Yeah, you would have heard of him. Guru of Ilayaraja sir. So I was fortunate. I used to go to everybody to learn. I used to go for a 1 hour class to him in Chennai every week. Without telling my friends, they would think mad fellow. For 1 hour class, I would go to Chennai and come. And he said, just because you have, you're tall like Amitabh Bachchan or you speak like Amitabh Bachchan, you don't become Amitabh Bachchan. Or you have Kamala Sen's complexion, you don't become. So that is superficial imitation. If I sing like Sonu Nigam, Ninnindale Kanasundu, only the voice if you imitate, there is so much more in Sonu Nigam singing. Or when you sing like Rafi Saab, it is a lot of people imitate only the voice. But there is so much more the technique. That is what you should imitate. Understand their singing, not the voice. Don't imitate the voice. Voice is very superficial. But this is very deep. I think first you have to just learn, and then you will reach that stage. There's no shortcut to all that.
These workshops, they're live or
We do combination of both. We do online also.
Being recorded, sir. be that live
Right.
on Zoom.
Is there any possibility of doing it in Mysore anytime?